Hey everybody. Hey everybody, Randy Brown for Cameo Man 2021 and the Mayor of Magic. I've got a few topics coming at you. I'm going to keep it a short stream so that Lantern can stream. But if anybody wants to jump in the chat, go ahead. I give you permission, and we're going to talk about a few things. And the first thing we're going to talk about is how to become smarter and how to boost your intelligence. All right. Now, there's something that you should know. Number one, IQ tests there's not a standard IQ test. There's many different IQ tests. Like the IQ test that a school uses is different from the one that Mensa uses, and it's different from other IQ tests online. And you need to understand that the scores are different on each IQ test. Uh, and another thing you want to know is that Albert Einstein never took an IQ test. Aristotle never took an IQ test. Benjamin Franklin never took an IQ test. There are supposed IQs on the internet right now of these people, and these people, as a matter of fact, did never take an IQ test. So take all IQ test scores from like Albert Einstein and George Washington and all those people with a grain of salt because they never took an IQ test. The IQ tests that there are for those people are just guesses based on their work and their reasoning. They never took an IQ test. So whoever tells you Albert Einstein's IQ is absolutely full of it, and the concept of IQ test wasn't even around in Albert Einstein's day and age. So to say that Albert Einstein had a Q of 160 or 240 is completely ridiculous. It is not true. He was not tested. He was never tested. But I am here to say that IQ is malleable. You can improve it. I've got empirical evidence myself because I took my IQ about like 7 or 8 years ago and I tested 116. And to give you an idea of what 116 is, anything from 100 to 110 is normal. Anything between 110 to 120 is above average, and 120 and above is genius. So, and again, a lot of the famous people through history, IQ tests weren't even around. Aristotle, I think it's obvious that Aristotle never took an IQ test. So, yeah, you got to take all these scores with a grain of salt. Nobody really knows how smart Albert Einstein was. So, but I am going to give you 13 ways that you can improve your IQ. And again, about 7 or 8 years ago, I took an IQ test. It graded me as 116. And then a few years later, I took another IQ test and it gauged me as 120, which is above average. So here we go. So, and before we get into this topic, I'm going to talk about the theory of neuroplasticity. The theory of neuroplasticity states that our conscious mind can change the biochemical and genetic makeup of our brains, which is 100% true. You go, Randy, how could that be? Well, if you spend time learning, consciously learning, you're creating more ridges in your brain, and by learning new stuff, you are changing the genetic makeup of your brain. And by the food you eat and the vitamins you take and everything you ingest and how hydrated your body is and whether you exercise or not, you can change the chemical makeup of your brain. Also, how you eat also affects the brain. Yes, sugars destroy the brain. Yes, drastically reducing sugar as well as intermittent fasting also improves brain function, memory, and performance. Which, yeah, proves my point. And I'm going to be getting into all that Hollywood toys. I've got 13 ways to change the chemical makeup of your brain, and I'm going to go into them right now. Now, number one is nootropics. Now, nootropics are vitamins and supplements that actually improve cognition and they make you smarter. They can improve focus. They can improve memory. They can improve retention, logical reasoning, and all that stuff. So nootropics is number one. And you can get perfectly fine nootropics off of Amazon.com. I recommend the Genius mushrooms or the Genius caffeine pills. Those are both good nootropics that you can use. And there's tons of nootropics online that you can buy. If you go on Amazon, you can find some for in the $10 to $20 range. That'll kick up your intelligence a little bit. And of course, I'm sure you're also going to mention how stress affects the brain as well. Well, yeah, I'm gonna talk about NK cells and stress in a little bit. But yeah, and then number two is vitamins. Sometimes simple vitamins can boost your intelligence, like B12, B3, B6, B4, B9. All the B vitamins are good for your brain. And then number three, in moderate amounts, caffeine has been proven to improve cognition. And when you have a lack of sleep, it has been shown to improve your logical reasoning skills. And it also helps with short-term memory. And in specific doses, it can help fight Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. Number four is taurine. Taurine is known in Asia as the longevity molecule. The Asians live longer than any other person on the planet, and a lot of Asians attribute taurine to these effects. There's lots of taurine in Chinese food and Japanese food, and this is one of the supposed reasons why they have such a long life. Number five is green drinks. Green drinks are, every substance has energy and vibrations, and certain different foods have different vibrations, and the higher vibrations, the more chemically balanced it is. So, like apples and fruit and stuff like that are around like 10 to 20 megahertz. And all the good foods, the more healthy there are, the more higher the vibration is. But green drinks themselves vibrate at around like 300 to 320 megahertz. So you've got to get stuff. The higher the vibration is, the better it is for you. Number six is exercise and walking. Exercise and walking has been proven to increase blood flow to the brain, and some people are actually relaxed when they exercise, and you're producing muscles and stuff like that. So number seven is learning math tricks. A lot of IQ tests are basically based on three things. They're based on pattern recognition, mathematical reasoning, and process of elimination. So, and your mathematical reasoning is something that you can improve consciously. Like if you learn math tricks and learn how to cube stuff quickly and square stuff quickly, you will do better on the math portion of IQ tests than if you did not know how to cube and square stuff. And again, a lot of the pattern recognition is, you got to see what the pattern is. It's like, okay, 1, 3, 5, and so on and so forth. Like 1 plus 1 is 3, 1 plus 3 is 5, and you got to recognize the patterns. And if you're good at math, you'll see that a lot of these questions, when they do these number patterns, a lot of these number patterns have to do with cubing and squaring. And it's pretty simple to learn cubing and squaring online. You got to brush up on it. You got to do it every day. But yeah. Number 8 is double speed audiobooks. And this is a personal trick of mine that I use a lot. If you are on YouTube and you are watching an educational video, you can go into playback speed and you can kick the playback speed up to double speed. And then you will learn the same amount of information in half the time. And if you've got YouTube Premium, you can even boost it up to 3 to 4 times the speed. And, it doesn't sound weird. It doesn't sound like Mickey Mouse because YouTube has a filter that prevents it from sounding like Mickey Mouse. And it'll just sound like it's really talking really fast, just like this. And if you listen to it just like this, it'll still make sense and it'll do everything you want it to do. So it'll sound like that, but you'll be able to catch everything and you will be able to boost your learning by 50%. All right. And next up, number 9 is meditation. Meditation has been shown to improve blood flow to the brain, and it's been shown to increase calmness and fight stress. And when you get rid of stress, you have less cortisol. Cortisol is the chemical that makes you dumber. You know, like if you're angry all the time, a lot of cortisol is going to your brain. And if you've ever tried to write a text when you're really angry and you see that, oh my God, I make all these spelling errors and I make all these mistakes, that is cortisol hard at work. Now, the number 10 on the list is NK cells. And NK cells basically work like this. And NK cells stand for natural killer cells. And the natural killer cells are released whenever you have an orgasm. And what it doesn't turn you into serial killer. NK cells kill cortisol. They kill the stress hormone that's made by your brain. So if you kill the cortisol cells, you will be less angry and you will be more intelligent and you will boost your IQ. And then 11 is the right food. The right food can take the place of Randy can't wait to hang out this. Yeah, that's cool. So the right food is definitely a factor. There are foods that have antioxidants in them, like dark chocolate, and there's tons of food that has omega-3s, which is fatty fish and chicken. And there's just tons of food that is really good for you. Typically, anything green is good for you, like broccoli, lettuce, stuff like that, celery. All the green foods for you pretty much are good for you, like jalapenos, stuff like that. And then 12 is water. Staying hydrated is very important. Studies have shown like a 1% decrease in hydration can cause a 5% decrease in cognitive functioning. So water and hydration is very important. And then last but not least on the list is 13 binaural beats. Binaural beats are beats that change the frequency of your brains using auditory sound waves, and they can actually change the chemical makeup of your brain. And that's all I have for that. So those were 13 ways. I'll go through them real quickly again. Number 1, nootropics. Number 2, vitamins. Number 3, caffeine. Number 4, taurine. Number 5, green drinks. Number 6 is exercise and walking. Number 7 is learning math tricks. 8 is double speed audiobooks. Number 9 is meditation. Number 10 is natural killer cells. Number 11 is the right food. Number 12 is water. And number 13 is binaural beats. What up, Lantern? I'm going to get off at around 9 o'clock so you can do your show, okay? I'm not going to take up your time. But our number 2 topic is Superman isn't boring. Now, I've heard this comment made several times, and I would just like to say, no, Superman is not boring. Never have I been watching a Superman TV show and thought to myself, wow, this is boring. I used to watch Superman with Dean Cain all the time. Love that show. I used to watch Superman and the Justice League. Love that show. Used to watch Superman and the Justice Friends. Love that show. Never, not once, was I watching one of these shows and goes, oh my God, Superman is boring. He's not boring. He is a Boy Scout. Like, he stands for justice and equality and morals and all that stuff. But that doesn't make him boring. In fact, that actually makes him pretty interesting to see how he will finagle out of a situation without lying or doing something immoral or injustice. You know, so Superman is not boring. In fact, I thought The Last Superman was great because it felt like a real Superman story. Like Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman and Justice League are great. But the thing is that, like Superman is an inherently goofy character. I mean, if you just look of all the iterations of Superman throughout the years and throughout the comics, he's a goofball. There's tons of goofy things that happened throughout Superman's history that was just dumb and goofy. Like he's got an imp called Mixelpick, and this imp is basically like Stiltskin, and he has to trick Superman into saying his name backwards 3 times, and he does it, and it was just a goofy comic book. There's tons of comics that Superman turned into a merman one time. There was one comic where Superman turned into a lion. There was one comic where Superman, Lex Luthor traveled back in time and went to Krypton and tried to be Superman's father. Like there's tons of dumb and goofy stuff in Superman's history. Like there was pink kryptonite, and the pink kryptonite would make Superman gay. Like this is like dumb, goofy, off the wall stuff. And I really think the last Superman movie captured that. I think they captured that essence. So I don't think that Superman has to be serious. I think Superman, at his core, is actually a very unserious character. So I don't think Superman is boring. I think James Gunn nailed Superman with the last movie that he did. And I'm looking forward to seeing more Superman from James Gunn. I don't know about Supergirl. Supergirl doesn't look good. I mean, the entire story is revolving around her saving her dog. It doesn't seem like really a big world-ending like tragedy. And the thing about Superman is that Superman was always high stakes. Like Superman was always showing off his strength. Like in Superman Returns, he literally has to lift an entire island up out of the sky into the sky. And there was a movie. Let me think. What was the movie? There was a movie. It just had no stakes, and it felt like nothing important was happening in the movie. I can't remember what it was. Anyways, Fears Man says Superman is shit. I hate Superman. Superman sucks. Yeah, Fears. I think Superman sucks too. Yeah, I hate him. Yeah. Yeah, Superman is boring. Yeah, yeah. I'm just kidding. That's not what Fierce said. He said Superman is the shit. I base Fierce Man off of Superman. Yeah, Superman is he's pretty cool. He's one of my favorite superheroes of all time. But he is definitely the most well-known superhero, one of the first superheroes of all time. Like his whatever ran. I didn't say any of that crap. I know, I was just joking, Fierce. LOL. Yeah. But yeah, parents sent him into a mode. So yeah. Fierce says you also like Batman. Yes, I do. And I was gonna do how to get AI to think like you, but I don't really think I can do that whole topic in like 15 minutes because we literally have 15 minutes until Lanterns Live. So I think I am going to cut it off right there. And thank you everybody for coming in. Thank you to Fearsman. Thank you to Mr. Lantern. Thank you to Fangirl Kate. I just had some jar chocolate. Oh yeah, I bet you did, Kate. Yep. Fears Mike. Thank you, Pixel. Thank you, Lantern. Thank you, Fears Vlogs. Thank you, Hollywood Toys. And I think I'm gonna go. I might do another stream after Lantern does his stream, but again, I really don't want to take up all of Lantern's time. So I'm going to cut the stream short, and I will cover how to get AI to think like you later. I actually covered a little bit more in depth in my other stream before this one, but I shall talk to y'all later. Thank you, D-Man. Thank you for all the awesome cartoons, and I will see you later, alligator. All right, bye.